10 significant facts about Pope Francis that you didn't know. Number 1. He is the first Pope from the Americas. He is the first Pope from the Western Hemisphere, the first from South America, the first from the Jesuit order, and the first to take the name Francis. Number 2. He refused to wear the signature red shoes. As the newly elected Pope takes the name Francis, he is also taking the noble saint's lifestyle and spirituality, poverty and simplicity. His first words as Pope included, "How I would like a church that is poor and for the poor." The new Pope refused the ermine-trimmed red velvet mozzetta, the gold pectoral cross, and the pair of red shoes prepared for him. He kept his simple silver cross and well-worn black shoes. Number 3. He is the first Pope to refuse the Apostolic Palace to make Domus Casa Mater his home. Pope Francis very famously refused to live in the Vatican Palace, instead opting to stay in Domus Casa Mater. He chose to live in the very apartment where he was staying during the conclave. Mauricio, there are days that he would take his meal at the Vatican canteen, joining the employees for their lunch break. Number 4. He loves tango. In a biography of Pope Francis entitled The Great Reformer, Austin Ivere mentions that the Pope is a great tango dancer. He even said that girls would even take turns to dance with the young Jorge. In 2010, the Pope said, "Tango comes from deep within me." Number 5. He used to be a bouncer at a nightclub. Before becoming a Pope, he took some odd jobs, including being a sweeper, working in a chemical job, and teaching high school. But the oddest among all was being a bouncer, a doorman, or someone that kicks out troublemakers out of nightclubs. Number 6. He only has one lung. Many were fascinated when they learned that the Pope has only one lung. The Vatican confirms that the Pope lost part of his lung during his childhood due to a respiratory infection. Number 7. He pops out of the Vatican. The Pope, not being mindful of his ecclesial status, would sneak out of the Vatican from time to time. Once, he left the Vatican to personally visit an optician. As expected, he drew a crowd to the area wanting to have a picture with him. Also, during the 2022 pandemic, he slipped out of the Vatican to visit a record store, buying Bach and Mozart, exposing his taste for music. Number 8. He overturns tradition when it comes to women. Though the Pope would stress the difference between a man and a woman, he never fails to promote gender equality. Except for the sacrament of the priesthood, the Pope helps in empowering women by appointing them to managerial roles in the Vatican. There are now 1,165 women compared to 320 10 years ago. Number 9. He allows children to approach him. In many interesting situations, children would approach the Pope during audiences without being asked to leave. Like Jesus, the Pope would say, "Let the children come to me." He would then cite them as an example in his messages. He even asked for couples to adopt from orphanages instead of preferring pets over children, drawing mixed reactions from all over the world. Number 10. He has 53 million followers on Twitter, 9 million on Instagram. With 9 accounts in different languages, the Pope is a major player in the social media world. At the moment, his English Twitter account alone has more than 18.9 million followers. In total, the Pope has a massive following of 53 million. On Instagram, the Pope has a whopping 9 million followers. The Pope being on social media is an affirmation of his own words that the internet is a gift from God, thus a tool to foster dialogue and communication between peoples. And of course, how can we forget how we were truly one with us during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, presiding over Holy Mass, live-streamed daily from the chapel at Santa Marta, and walking alone on Good Friday in an empty St. Peter's Square to deliver an extraordinary Urbi et Orbi for people around the world as everyone suffered from the pandemic.